Hello everyone, Jak Syn here on behalf of Fiend.com and Future Daze, and today it's another exciting episode of Artist Interviews. Today, I am sitting with Elle of Famblood. How you doing today, Elle?
Hey, how is it going?
I'm doing pretty good. I mean, it's a nice, beautiful day outside. I mean, it was hot. Most of the day it was hot. I had a trip up to Hollywood a little bit earlier. Went up to Hollywood Forever Cemetery. Kind of roamed around there for a little bit. It's a pretty nice day, I'd say. Weather was nice where we're at here. How about you?
It's been pretty good. I've been inside. I love my little AC.
Yeah.
A lot, so I've been kind of in the studio here. I basically work as a designer, but do a lot of art direction as well. Album cover art, but after hours, I'm just back into the music basically. But it's been pretty busy. It's been keeping me preoccupied during this pandemic, just keeping me focused and trying to stay healthy and mentally happy. So
Exactly. And that's really important right now. I know with everything happening in the world, it's a lot for a lot of people out there to take, with everything happening, but it's important right now that we kind of take that time to kind of focus on the things that we want to focus on and really just kind of using this time to let our creativity shine.
absolutely. This is the perfect time to do it.
Exactly.
Take advantage of it.
So today we're going to ask you a couple of questions and see where it goes from here. Are you ready to get into it?
Yeah, let's do it. Ready.
All right. So Elle, tell us about your debut release.
So my debut release is called Discipline, and it was out June 26th of this year, 2020. And I worked very closely with producer Carlos Manufactura. He's very, very good producer. He did an amazing job helping me out, perfecting these songs. It was initially going to be like an EP, but I felt like we could push it more, and I felt like we were making a lot of really great progress. And I was really enjoying the time that I was working with Carlos for this album, and it just kind of felt like let's squeeze every drop of juice out of this, So pushed myself in so many different ways. I feel like the music for Elle is definitely a little different from Famblood. I feel with Elle, this project basically explored my vocals a lot, as in terms of comfortability and as in terms of like dynamics and everything else. So Famblood is very melodic, but Elle has this duality of very melodic, but it also has this aggressive takes. And these aggressive takes were influenced by, say, like Nitzer Ebb or Front 242. So I kind of wanted to keep this melodic-esque Boy Harsher style vocals, but kind of tie it back into this aggressive industrial style of it. So I felt that combining these two vocal styles in Elle was the biggest challenge for me for this album. And I felt like it kind of innovated this semi-new style combination for this project. And I feel every song had its appropriate amount of time for delivery. It was never like a day of or anything. It was always like weeks, even a month for some songs. So I felt like I really wanted to take my time and focus every note, every beat of every rhythm, just to kind of feel content with it. And thankfully, I'm so deeply grateful for Carlos to being part of this project, because I feel it wouldn't be at the level where it is without his help. So I'm so grateful. He's so talented, and I feel like with my skill and both of our hard work, I feel it was a pretty good delivery.
Well, you know what? I've listened to it. I've enjoyed it. I think it's pretty rad. You have found a way to balance out that sound that you were talking about. Balancing out that style of industrial music, that early industrial like wax track style sound, but then also blending in those melodic vocals, but still bringing in that visceral, like just raw feeling, that overall feeling of the album. When I was listening to it, I was kind of going like, you can dance to this stuff and you can really kind of groove to this stuff too, but at the same time, it's very haunting. It's very it's very powerful, in a way. And I think that's what really kind of pushes it to the forefront, is because it's so powerful. And just by listening to a lot of the things that you were singing about in the album itself, it really touches on those areas very, very well. When you were putting together the vocals and what you were writing about when you were writing these lyrics, like what was going through your head at that time?
Oh man. Well, each song came from a gut feeling. It always comes from a gut. I say that because these are songs and lyrics and words that are coming straight from feelings or situations that I deal with, but I keep it in a kind of a vague, broad sense so everybody can connect to it. It's situations that I feel everybody has encountered, whether it be like personal or like I don't know, relationships wise, or even like self-doubt or infliction or even anything like that within yourself. Most of these words and lyrics are just kind of situations that are allowing me to overcome through music, or self-reminders that sometimes at times where I'm thinking negatively, but I have to kind of uplift myself and there's no one around. I'm gonna write things that will remind myself at those times. So say like if I want to listen to one of my songs again at some point in my lowest times, then I know where to go and it's going to uplift me in ways. So I try to think of it in a way of, what were some of my influences at the time when I was a kid and I was going through really bad things, and what were they saying in the words, and what did they do to save me? So I kind of want to be recycling that concept, if you will, for others to kind of be connected to it in a way. So I feel like that's a strategy for me to connect to others, but also express myself in the most organic and raw way as I can.
Very well said right there. I mean, it's funny how like our personal experiences from when we're young, even into our adult life, when we go through our time and we see, day to day, year to year, month to month, we're in different places at all those different times. And what we're experiencing at those times, sometimes they're highs, sometimes they're lows, and when we are able to kind of put that down on paper and even record that emotion that we're feeling inside and get that out to the world and then come back and listen to it later, we kind of help ourselves in a way, because it's like medicine in a way for us. It's like it's helping us to pick us up, to make us stronger, to kind of build us back up from where we are in certain low points here and there. And then sometimes when we're feeling a little bit too high in the clouds, you know what I mean, it kind of helps bring you down and level you out, kind of like brings you back down to reality in certain aspects. So it's really good to see that you are finding all of these little things from your life and pulling experiences from here and there and kind of implementing them into the solo album. You created a vision through sound, and it was a great vision.
I appreciate that. Nailed.
Nailed it. And to everybody, be sure to check out this album, Discipline by L. You can find it everywhere. It's out everywhere. And it was released under Crunch Pod. So you guys can definitely check that out. Bandcamp, Spotify, pretty much anywhere. If you search for it, you're going to find it. And you will get this sense that we are talking about right now. This sense of like, if you're looking for something to hit you in all the right places, check this album out, because it will really do that for you. What would you say was your favorite part about working on the album?
When I would always receive the final waves from Carlos after producing, and after much back and forth of production, and finally lyrics are in, all the instruments are in, and I'm finally gonna get the final feedback, like the final track. And then once I hear it, it's just like I shut everything, like close the door, close the windows, close everything. Like I'm just going into this world. I'm just close my eyes. I'm gonna listen to this final take, But that's the most exciting part about my process so far. I think it's, from the gut to the mind, from the heart, and now into paper, into recorded. And now it's like you know, you can finally listen to it completely. And I love that. I love the process from, you know, beginning to end, but I feel like that's kind of the cherry on the top of the process, is just finally listening to it, you know, all the editing, all the final tweaking. And it's just kind of, I don't know, it's kind of like a satisfaction that I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to describe it, but my ears just love it. My heart loves it. And it gets addicting after a while. I think that, you know, that process is great, but it's that feeling like, oh, like, okay, one down and maybe 5 to go, but keep going, you know? It's a wonderful feeling. I think that the process is not the same to everybody, and, you know, everybody has different, you know, takes on it and whatnot, but I really try to make my process as very intricate, very detail oriented, and then once it's like been maybe a couple of weeks, then once it's listening to it, and it's just like, it's great, in the bag, let's move on, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I know for a lot of artists out there, I mean, myself included, you know, it's like everybody has these favorite moments from whenever they're designing a song or designing an album, designing an EP, it doesn't matter. These little favorite moments from their process. It's like some people love the start of something because it's like they can mold it and shape it into whatever they want it to. Some people, you know, love laying down their vocal tracks. Like that's the most favorite part of creating a song, is like laying down their vocals, or, you know, designing synthesizer parts, you know, that really kind of build and really hit dynamically. But it's like, I agree with you, at the very end of that song journey, when everything is ready to go and you can just put your headphones on or listen to it out, you know, out loud, just lay back on the ground and just take it in and just kind of let it flow through you, and really kind of like take that time to, in a way, meditate, because you are kind of going on a meditative journey with that, because you are taking the time to sit back, open your mind, open your ears, and really just kind of let that sound come in. And when you come out of it, you kind of go, wow, that was an audio experience. That was just an amazing thing, because I got to literally feel the sound. I got to literally feel all of the emotions that I wrote about, and kind of recall all of those different places that you were at those different times. And it just transforms you in a way.
It's such a beautiful process. It's a beautiful thing, and that's why I keep doing it.
Exactly. And I think that's why a lot of artists out there continue writing and creating music, is because we have something inside that we need to get out. You know, and that's, you know, whether that's music or writing or directing something, or, you know, whatever it is, even drawing a picture, you know, of something, it's still getting out that creativity that we have inside in whatever way, shape, or form we can do that. Even if that's like acting on a stage, or getting a microphone and singing your heart out to an audience in a room. And it's all part of the journey.
Absolutely. And it's a beautiful journey. I mean, I feel like this is the only journey I'm willing to take. You know, I'll do what I need to do to pay the bills, but this is the part of my day where I really value it, you know. Just making music, getting something out, whether it be a sketch or finishing an album cover, you know, it's being able to see, you know, what I've done and hear what I've done.
I mean, it's bringing your dreams to fruition. It's bringing your vision to fruition. And, you know, to everybody out there, if you have those dreams and you have those things that are tugging at you, don't just let it fall by the wayside. Find a way to get it out. Find a way to push it out to the world, because when you do, it's going to really create some amazing things for you and those around you, because they will finally get to see how creative and how driven you are as somebody who creates and is artistic.
Hell yeah.
What was the drive behind getting you into making music and performing?
I feel it's always been a convenience. It's always been like right in front of me my whole life. Born into a family of musicians. My great grandpa, my grandpa, we all had instruments around the house. We all had, whether it be like, you know, wooden guitars all beat up or whatever, a drum set out in the corner, you know, like I'm coming from a Mexican family. A lot of us have instruments at home. Like we used to party up in Tijuana a lot, like till 4 in the morning. My uncle will set up a stage in the garage, like in the parking area. Like we would all, like grandpa would bring his gear. I would bring my bass and my sax. It was just kind of, it was always there. Music was always there in my family growing up. So I felt as if there's no way I'm going to let this go. I'm kind of in this already. My cousin and I grew up together, very close. He was my next door neighbor, and he picked up the bass at such a young age. I picked up the bass, guitar. I was learning music in school, like learning how to sight read and learning different brass instruments and whatnot. So I was getting a pretty big dosage of music growing up. Eventually became kind of more involved in, rewriting scores for the marching bands in schools and directing, being a conductor and in school, but outside of school I was in a punk band. We were just playing garages and, little house parties, whatever at the time. It just kind of, as I grew up older and whatnot, it's always been around me until maybe graduating college. I started working in advertising, but now while working in advertising, I was heavily into design, and I had to really take a break from music. But around that time, I was like, this feels so weird. Like, I'm not picking up an instrument right now. Like, it's been a while, and I feel so weird. My spirit just kind of felt weird. So around that time, I was just kind of mainly do album art, designing a lot of album art for a lot of artists here in LA or in San Diego. So while picking that up and going into shows and watching the shows and being involved more, it kind of like was born again, the drive to pick up an instrument again. And I started Famblood with my cousin, and now pushing discipline out and having it done and finally solidifying my own style is a really nice accomplishment to coming from, where I started in music as a kid. Now it's like I have a sound, I have a style, and it's a really nice realization to have. And it's been a really nice journey. I think I do it because it's enjoyable, it's healthy for me. I always encourage others to, pick up something, an instrument, bang on some, I don't care, like it'll help you. So yeah, that's pretty much been my journey, and I'm very happy to have music in my life. I don't know what I can't imagine my life without sound or any way.
Yeah, well, it's a very comfortable place for you. It's very comfortable. I mean, you grew up with it. It's like a fish to water, you know what I mean? Like, it's just where you felt comfortable. And I think that's pretty impressive, like what you were talking about, like with, conducting, like when you were the school marching band. Like, I don't know too many people who, have had that kind of background. I know, a couple of people, but like not too many. So that's really great that you were kind of going through that.
Yeah, absolutely. It took me a while to harness it because, you learn your foundations first, like your scales and your BPMs and what comfortable you are and what sounds in the orchestra or ensemble sounds well with others. And that kind of helped me out with creating the sounds now, like for discipline or whatnot, like going back and forth with what style of sounds or synth sounds am I looking for that goes well, that blends in with other sounds. I think it's helped me out with training my ear with balancing a good ensemble in general, like electronically or in other parts. I think that applying certain things that I've learned from school and until now, I think it's a huge help. Say like my process is, go with the gut feeling. If it's sad, maybe 130 or below BPM. If it's a raging one, maybe 147 and above. It's like, and then what am I feeling? Like, is it a G minor? Is it an A? Like, and then stick to one, and then this is your range. So play with all these keys are in this range, and then you can create whatever you want as long as you feel perfectly with what you're trying to say from here.
Exactly. You know what? It's refreshing to hear that too. It's like, where you're kind of going like, I know a lot of artists, like when you're creating like electronic music and stuff like that, you kind of go, when you talk to other artists and you kind of go, yeah, man, I was thinking about, something was like 130, 135 BPM, and some people are kind of looking at it like kind of going like, what are you talking about? Like, we're talking about beats per minute, dude. Beats per minute, you know what I mean? And then you're talking about, keys and everything like that. And you kind of go like, it's really amazing, like when you can kind of get into, little technical aspects about certain things, because even though creating this music is very like feeling oriented, it's very from the heart, it's not super technical, but it's great to have a technical background so you can understand what you are trying to convey. You know what I mean? You know what you can play with and what you can't play with. And then when you want to just throw caution aside to the wind, you can do that. But some people, like, technically, some people get in this mindset where you kind of go like, I have to be very technical about everything. Like, no, you don't have to be very technical about everything. You can pick and choose what you want to be technical about.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Take a look at like Panther Modern. It's very rhythmic. It's very like straightforward, and then you got some minimal like voices. But then, you take Boy Harsher and it's like it's almost the same, but you take a melodic voiceover and it's just like it creates a different style. So it really, at the end of the day, it's like, what are you trying to say? What do you want to say? To the world or to a specific person or to yourself, but really, like, what is it that you want to leave, on this earth, and what do you want to say in those things? Say one day you're gone and then these are the words that you're going to leave. You know what I mean? Like, this is how you want to be remembered. Those are just things that I have in my mind. These are just kind of like stamps, like little tiny stamps that I'm just probably going to leave, and they better be good words, and those are just things that I have in my head that I, through my process, I try to just polish as much as I can, given knowing, even as like coming from a background of design and advertising, it's like the process is always like back and forth, it's grab an idea, harness it, solidify it, design it, polish it, polish, back and forth, polish. Like the final round is like almost the most intense part. And doing that for several years, I kind of adapted those things into just this album, and treating it as such and polishing it as much as I can, until I just was like, okay, I think this is at a good spot, like for it to be displayed out there, So I felt like some of the discipline that I had at work or even other things, and adapting it to this, and the quality of the work was my biggest goal for this album, is how much can I push it, and how great can I make this sound all together, living cohesively, these group of songs.
Well, and I think you found what you were looking for with it. I think you found that path that you wanted to go with that. It's like a lot of time with songs, as artists, we tend to re-listen and listen and listen and listen and listen and listen and listen. And then, it's like we take a lot of time trying to perfect certain things. And then sometimes it gets to those points where we kind of go, is this too much? But it's also a good thing when you work with a producer too, who can kind of be that second person in the room, where they kind of go like, this sounds good, maybe this could be changed, maybe this can, you can bounce those ideas off that second person. Because when you're working alone by yourself, it's you and your thoughts. Sometimes you get to that point where you go, I have listened to this song so much, I hate it. And I hate it right now. I hate it so much, and I don't want to listen to it, right? But then when you turn around and you play it for an audience, they'll go, man, I love this song. This is my favorite song now. It's like one of the things that I live for. And you kind of go, okay, well, I guess I have to play it live now. You know what I mean? But you listen to it and you kind of go like, I've worked so much on this, I need to kind of put it away for a while and just not listen to it. And then you bring it back out like a couple months later, a year later, and you listen to it and you go, damn, this song is a real banger. You know what I mean? This is actually really good. I don't know why I hated it. Oh, because I listened to it so damn much. I like drove myself crazy. So, but I mean, that's just the life of an artist, you know. It's like creating something. It takes a lot of work, you know. It's anything that you build takes a lot of work. You know, anything that you work towards, whether it's a business, you know, a band, it doesn't matter. It all takes a lot of work. It's never going to be done like overnight. It's always going to be a process. Even when creating an album, it's always a process. Every song is another step and another step and another step. And even though they're kind of crazy steps that kind of go in circles sometimes, they're still amazing.
Absolutely. No, no process is linear. It's always different for everybody. You know, everybody has different inspirations that happen in different areas of their life and in any ways, you know. And and that's what's great about it, because there's different genres and there's different types of people, and it's just like a big mix of, you know, whole combinations of things. And but that's, you know, that's how people get inspired, like things that they're not doing, or like the opposite, or, you know, I don't know, like it could be anywhere and anything, you know. So I'm pretty happy with what's what it, you know, Discipline turned out to be. And I just hope that, you know, this is only the beginning, and you know, there's going to be better music out there as I grow. And I try to just kind of surrounding myself with people that are better than me, or even more experienced than me. I feel like, you know, keeping a hungry state of mind and a humble state of mind will hopefully get me further to where I want to be.
Yeah. Staying hungry, staying humble, those are important. Those are important, very important, because as artists, it pushes us to be better, pushes us to grow, pushes us to create. And that's what's important. What are you looking forward to accomplishing the most moving forward?
I definitely look forward to gaining more awareness to my work and to my art and my artistry, really. My dream would be touring, if it's even in the state or another state. Once this whole pandemic ends and everything's back to normal, hopefully, I would love to just kind of plan some sort of a tour of some sort. That would be my dream accomplishment, which is now leaning towards a goal. Just thinking logistically and strategically about it will definitely make it more of a goal. But gaining more awareness, you know, just I feel my next step now is just, you know, getting on more playlists, you know, putting it out there more. Verbally, you know, through social or anything like that. I like to take my accomplishments small. I like them small and realistic, because that'll get me faster to the bigger ones, I think. Yeah.
That's important right there, everybody. You know, it's like getting your sound out there to the world in any way that you can, through whether, you know, like promoting it on social media, you know, getting it played by DJs, going out and touring. Now, that is something that is always an awesome thing to do. Yeah, I would love to see you touring. I would love to see you play in LA. And that's the thing about touring, is like touring, it's fun. Okay, it's fun. It's great. It's a great thing to do. But it's also sometimes can be a bit of a headache, because of the fact that, like, you have to wake up, you got to get on the road, you got to get to the venue, you got to set up, you got to get your show going, and you got to break down, get that, and you got to go to the, you know, for where you're going to stay, and then you got to get up and do it all over again. It's a lot of driving. But you know what? It is an amazing journey, because you get to go from city to city to city. You get to meet amazing people. You get to have conversations with people that you would have never, ever had conversations with before in your entire life. And you really kind of get to showcase your art to everybody out there. And it's such a broad spectrum of people who come out to events to support artists. And one of the things that I've seen a lot, the people who are out there always love you so much more than the people in your own hometown. You know, because, you know, it's like they're so appreciative, because you took the time to go out to their place, you know, to their city or their town, and, you know, lay it all out on the stage for them. You know, and they really do support. And that's one of the great things about touring. So I would really love to see you out there on the road doing what you do, playing your music, because I think it'll go over really awesome. You're kind of like local, you know, you're more like what, Lawndale area, right? Is that
Yeah,
correct?
yeah, South Bay, LA.
South Bay. You know what's funny is that I grew up in the South Bay. I actually grew up on the border of Torrance and Gardena, so I know exactly where you're at. You know that?
That's awesome. Yeah, well, you're welcome over anytime after pandemic.
Exactly, exactly. You know, and you know it's great because your music is really awesome, and I'm sure that, you know, on a live show, you performing your solo stuff on a live show is really going to be amazing. And I think a lot of people are really going to enjoy that. So everybody out there, be sure to check out Elle. Be sure to check out Elle's album Discipline, and check her out when she starts playing live in 2021, when she starts playing live and touring in 2021, because that will happen. If you have the drive and the mindset to make it happen, you're going to make it happen. I know that.
Well, let's do it. What am I waiting for?
Exactly. Now is the time to kind of plan and get logistics and get all those things kind of taken care of now. So when we start to set up, you know, and go into 2021, you'll know that next step that you need to take. So I think right now it's a good time for you to keep pushing forward with what you have, because it's going to take you some amazing places.
Wow, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. I really appreciate you taking the time to listen to the album, and thank you for such kind words and the encouragement, and that really means a lot. And I will definitely want to play for you at some point. So
What positive message would you give your fans out there?
don't give up. Just don't give up. Just keep doing what you're doing. Don't listen to others' negativity. Don't build, you know, barriers because of that. You know, don't listen to other people's negative feedback. Just keep doing you, because it'll show. It'll show that it's great, and you prove them wrong, because most likely is always you prove them wrong.
You know, some of the greatest things out of human history have come because people have really stepped up and pushed forward and overcame that doubt that some people have shown to them. You know, it's like, as a person who creates and somebody who is an artist at heart, don't be afraid to share your stuff with the world. Don't build barriers around yourself, because your creativity can really shine when you open yourself up to all these new possibilities that the world has to offer. Everything that you do as somebody who creates, whether it's music, writing, doesn't matter what it is creatively, get it out to the world. Get it out to the world, because it's that out of the box thinking that can really create some amazing stuff. And I see it through you, Elle, and I think that you're going to be going to some really amazing places. So to everybody out there, take these wise words from Elle here, because they're very, very important, and they are very, very uplifting. So thank you so much, Elle, for taking this time to do this interview. Thank you to everybody who took the time to sit down and watch us have this conversation. If you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe to our Fiend YouTube channel, as we have many more awesome artist interviews on the way, just like this one. So to everybody out there, thank you so much. Thank you, Elle, and I look forward to seeing you in person and live very, very soon.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. This is awesome. And keep doing what you're doing. It's awesome.
Well, you know what? I'll keep doing this as long as there's people to interview. I'm just going to be on this journey for as long as I can take it, because this is my creative gift to the world too. So thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you soon.